Good afternoon and welcome back to the USWRA Low Point Wheelchair Rugby National Championships, hosted by Rise Adaptive Sports here at the Georgia Faro Recreation Center in Irving, Texas. Here in Game 12, we have Magee-MedStar taking on Northridge. Opening tip-off is hit by Mike DeYoung, recovered by Josh O'Neill, who takes off and scores directly. Nate takes the inbound for Magee-MedStar. He's cutting back, trying to get to the right side, but he gets stopped by Colton. He's backing his way around, trying to find an escape. Does he have an outlet? Puts the ball up, down court, looking for Robbie. Robbie's able to wheel it in, but he's got defense by Mike DeYoung. Mike DeYoung has him stopped and strips the ball, but Nate swings in to recover the ball and roll it in for a try. Mike DeYoung inbounds to Colton Parker. Sweeps over to the far left side. He's riding that sideline. Now he's swept back to the right. Puts a pass up for Josh O'Neill, who takes it in for the try. Magee-MedStar's inbound, rolls loose, but Nate is able to recover it and sprints up the center of the court. But Colton Parker is able to get position over the top of him. Nate has to pull up, get his dribble in. Nate's working together, attempts to put a pass up for Steven, but it was deflected by Josh O'Neill. Pass back out to Parker. Parker's rolling hard up the right side, working that sideline. The only one between Parker and the goal is Robbie. Can Robbie stop him? He can't. Steven takes the inbound from Magee-MedStar. He's working through the crowd down low. Turns around and puts up a hook pass to Robbie. Catches it about center court, and he's pushing up. Stopped by Josh O'Neill. Robbie's able to work his way out of it, but then he's stopped by Colton Parker. Now he's got a double team on him. Parker and O'Neill both on him, so he passes out to Steven on the left side, who takes it in for a try. Parker takes the inbound low on the right side of the court, works his way back to the center, weaves his way through traffic before putting a pass up to Mike DeYoung. Mike DeYoung rolls up into Josh O'Neill and hands the ball off. A whole lot of congestion in the center of their court here, but Josh O'Neill is able to escape for a little bit, roll to the right, but then finds Parker rolling up left for the try. Robbie has the inbound for Magee-MedStar, passes into Steven, number 5. He was looking down deep for Nate Washington, rolling hard up the center, but he won't be able to bring that pass in. Northridge Knights will take the ball in the corner with Mike DeYoung coming into inbound. Parker's working his way around to get free. Takes the inbound in, double team by Nate, Robbie and Steven. Robbie deflects the ball out of bounds right into my lap. Mike DeYoung takes the inbound. He has eyes down court for Josh O'Neill, who brings it in. Robbie will take the inbound for Magee-MedStar and flips it out to Nate, low center. Nate's working on Josh O'Neill. He doesn't have it, so he passes it over to Steven. Steven bobbles a little bit, but is able to bring it in. and is looking down court for Robbie, but it's intercepted by Mike DeYoung, who drops it back off to Josh O'Neill, who wheels it back in for a try. Nate takes the inbound low center from Robbie, then looks up court, puts a pass down, real nice pass and nice catch from Steven. Steven's looking for an outlet as he was double teamed by Parker and O'Neill. Doesn't find one, so he's gonna roll it around himself. Trying to find room up the center. Josh reaches in for a strip, but doesn't come up with it. Steven rolls right through it for a try. Parker takes the inbound from DeYoung, rolls around center, but then cuts back hard toward the right baseline. He's pushing hard up the right baseline, but he's got Josh O'Neill coming up the center. Drops the pass up to Josh for a try. Robbie inbounds deep to nobody. The ball is loose. Steven is pushing hard after it, is able to recover it, but then runs right back into Parker, with Josh O'Neill lingering for second level defense. Steven's got some help from Nate, picking up some blocks on O'Neill while he works on Parker. He's looking for room on the right, doesn't have it, so he passes back left to Nate for the try. Mike DeYoung inbounds over the top to Parker, who's working against Nate, trying to work his way back to center. Now he's coming left. He's pushing hard along the left sideline as Robbie gives chase. Will Robbie able to stop him? Robbie is able to turn him around on the left side of the goal line. Magee-MedStar is dropped into a key defense as Parker looks for a weakness while Nate swipes at the ball. He's running low on time, so they call a timeout. Have a little bit of a delay as Michelle Campos gets herself a new wheel put on, but she's all set now and rolling back onto the court. Mike DeYoung will inbound from the corner for Northridge. Colton takes the inbound. Rolls up high for his team to set up. Now he's driving hard at the B gap, trying to split Robbie and Nate, but it doesn't happen. He cuts right, but Nate stops him. He's able to back around Nate, back into the key. Oh, but he gets called for in and out. No goal. That's a turnover. Steven has the inbound for Magee-MedStar, pushing up the center, but he gets jammed up on Parker. He's looking out, dumps it up ahead for Nate, who's able to bring it in front of Josh O'Neill. Nate pulls it up, drops off a pass to Steven, who's able to take it in for the try. Mike DeYoung comes to the baseline to take the inbound for Northridge. Puts a floater up for Parker, who passes it right back to Mike DeYoung up the middle. On the right, he's got Josh O'Neill streaking, and Josh O'Neill will roll this one all the way in for the try. Robbie takes the inbound for Magee-MedStar, dumps it off to Nate down low center. Nate will work his way up the court. He's got a couple blockers, and Northridge is dropping into the key defense. But looks like O'Neill has a flat, but Magee-MedStar isn't stopping. Nate's driving up to the B gap, splits it for a try. Parker takes the inbound from DeYoung. DeYoung comes in from the right. Nothing doing, so tries to cut across, but he gets stopped by Steven. Dumps the pass back off to O'Neill. O'Neill's working the right side, but there's a whole lot of congestion there. Finds a gap in the corner for a try. Inbound goes to Steven, who immediately dumps it right off to Nate up the center. Nate gets hung up on Parker, so he's looking for an outlet. No, he's going to push backwards up the middle of the court. Tosses a pass over the back of his head, and Steven comes up with it in the front court. Steven's pushing hard toward the try line, and there's no one between him and a score. O'Neill takes the inbound from DeYoung. Passes it back to DeYoung, who's going up, but DeYoung bobbles it. Loses the ball. It's still live. Is anyone going to pick it up? They won't. It will be Magee-MedStar ball. Steven takes the inbound for Magee-MedStar. Tries to push up center, but he's hung up on Parker. He's looking for a pass. Dumps a rainbow pass off to Nate, and Nate recovers it, and he's all alone. Parker takes the inbound on the right side from DeYoung. He's working his way back toward the center. He's got lots of room to burn, and he's pushing as hard as he can toward that try line. He will not be caught. Nate takes the inbound on the right side, cutting back towards center, but he's got Parker on defense. Nate's looking for an outlet. He finds Steven up the court. Steven brings the pass in, but immediately calls timeout so they don't run short of time. Robbie will come into the sidelines to inbound the ball for Magee-MedStar. Steven joins him. Steven takes the ball and then both work their way into the front court, but he drops the ball back off to Robbie. Robbie's looking around on the left side, trying to find some room. Cuts back to the right, but Josh O'Neal hasn't blocked off, so he lobs the ball over him to Nate. Nate's got the ball, but he's jammed up in the key. Nate puts the ball back over his head for a great catch to Steven, who scores the try. DeYoung inbounds to O'Neal on the right side. Robbie comes in for a block, forcing Neal back the other way. But O'Neal's got Parker streaking down the center all alone. Steven takes a pass low by himself. He's feeling clock pressure, pushing as fast as he can to get up there. Lobs a pass over the top to Nate. Oh, Nate cannot bring it in. It's just off his fingers and out of bounds. DeYoung inbounds to Parker on the left side. He's streaking up. He's feeling pressure on the clock too. Can he get it across? He can't. That's the end of the first quarter, folks. Northridge Knights have a score of 11. Magee-MedStar have 9. As we come back to the second quarter, Magee-MedStar will take the inbounds. Not sure who's going to inbound for Magee-MedStar yet. Looks like they're still getting wrapped up. Robbie's having some difficulties with tape over there on his bench. Robbie's got himself all wrapped up, literally and figuratively, so he comes over to the sideline to inbounds for Magee-MedStar. Wait, never mind. Robbie doesn't inbound. Steven's going to take the inbound. Robbie will receive the inbounds instead. Working on the left side behind Stevens blocking. Robbie dumps the pass off to Steven. Will he be able to hold on to it? He's fumbling it around, but he has enough control over it for the try. Colton inbounds to Steve DeYoung, or Mike DeYoung, that takes the ball right back from him. Mike DeYoung has the ball back in the center, but there's lots of traffic. He's looking for an out. Dribbles the ball out. Josh O'Neill is able to recover it and call a quick timeout. Inbounds for Mike DeYoung is deflected by Nate. Robbie gets a hand on it but isn't able to bring it in. It will roll harmlessly out of bounds. Still Northridge Knights ball. Magee-MedStar is playing low as Parker takes the inbounds. Rolls hard toward the right side, but he cuts back left looking for that B gap. Gap closes, so he cuts back to the right. Nate's defending him. He fumbles the ball. It's stuck under his wheel for now. Will he be able to bring it back in? He's got control of it. Calls a timeout. Parker takes the inbound from DeYoung. Pushes it immediately right into that B gap between Nate and Mike for try. Oh, we have a loose ball. I didn't see who that was off of, but it will remain Magee-MedStar ball. Inbounds out of the corner, goes to Nate. He's working his way up the left side, cuts back to the center. He's pushing hard. Colton Parker cuts in to block him, but whiffs. Got your O'Neill comes in and strips the ball before Nate can take it across. Like someone touched it, it will be Northridge Knights ball. O'Neill whiffs on the inbounds from DeYoung. DeYoung's chasing after it, but it will go out of bounds before he can track it down. Robbie will take the inbound for Magee-MedStar in the far corner. Dumps it off to Nate. Nate has O'Neill in defense. So he rolls around Parker, but now Parker is blocked off on him. Nate is hung up good. Nate frees himself and is able to work back toward the goal. There's a whole lot of traffic, but there are some gaps. Can Nate take advantage? He pushes around the left side, gets a hand from Mike DeYoung, but is able to push through it for the try. Parker takes the inbound. Gets jammed up in the center, but has Josh O'Neill coming in on the left. Dumps the pass off to him over the top. Steven takes the inbounds from Robbie, works his way hard up the right side of the court. Gets jammed by Colton Parker just as he crosses into the front court. He's got outlets. Tries to put it up for Robbie, but it's out of either's reach. Looks like it was tipped on the way up, though, because it remains MedStar Magee ball. Steven takes the inbounds from Robbie. O'Neill has a back pick on him, but he's able to free himself, pushing hard for the left, which is wide open thanks to a pick from Nate. Michelle Campos will take the inbounds for Northridge Knights. Dumps it off to Colton Parker on the far right. He's pushing up the right-hand sideline, but he gets hung up on Nate. Dumps the ball up to Mike DeYoung. Trying to cut back center and get around Robbie. Has to toss it up over his hands, but Steven deflects it and is recovered by Nate. Nate takes his time working back toward the center with O'Neill in coverage over the top. Now he's going to push around Colton Parker all the way in for the try. Magee-MedStar just tied the game up, folks, as Parker takes the inbound from Mike DeYoung. So you have a reaching foul on Steven of Magee-MedStar, so he will spend some time in the penalty bin. Mike DeYoung comes to the sideline to take the inbounds for Northridge. He's got the ball into Colton Parker on the right side. Nate's getting a little grabby with those hands. Colton Parker rolls up the middle, and now he's working on come back to the left. Turns his way around Robbie for the try. Steven takes the inbound for Magee-MedStar, dumps it up to Robbie on the far left side. Robbie works his way back toward the center, tries to put the ball up to Nate, but it doesn't make it, and it gets bounced, but Nate winds up picking it up anyway. Nate works his way back, cuts left around Parker, frees himself, takes a breath at the try line before crossing. DeYoung inbounds to Parker. Magee-MedStar is dropped into a key defense. Parker's looking along the right side. Will he find any action in the corner? Ooh, Robbie had the corner blocked out, but Mike DeYoung sneaks in to receive the pass for the try. Steven takes the inbounds from Robbie, works his way on the right side. He's going to unblock on the right sideline, but O'Neill cuts in and stops him right before he gets to the midcourt line. Ooh, Steven passes it over, aiming for Robbie, but it bounces off Robbie's arm, and it's being fought for just on the other side of the midcourt line. It'll be a jump ball. And Northridge Knights ball. O'Neill takes the inbounds for Mike DeYoung off the side. O'Neal's looking to pass back, but he's got a lot of hands in his face. One of those hands touched him. Robbie will spend some time in the sin bin for a reaching penalty. O'Neal gets free to take the inbounds from DeYoung and takes his time wheeling around before driving it in for a try. Robbie is called inbound for Magee-MedStar. Robbie puts in a deep bump to Nate, who takes possession of the ball around the top of the three-point line. He's able to work his way around Parker, but Parker's pushing hard to catch back up with him before he can score. Does he catch him? He catches him, but not quite in time, as Nate's able to get over the line for a try. Michelle Campos will take the inbound for Northridge again. She jumps it off to Josh O'Neal, then picks up lead blocking position. O'Neal works his way to the right. He's picking up some speed along that right sideline, and nobody else will catch him on his way to score a try. Nate takes the inbound over Mike DeYoung, working on the far right side of the court, but Parker has him blocked out. Nate's still pushing up that right sideline. Cuts back toward the center. Now he's at the top of the three-point line, dumps it off to Robbie for the try. Mike DeYoung's looking for his inbound target, but McGee was playing a hard deny, and Steven comes up with an interception. Dumps it off to Nate at the top of the key, who passes it right back to Steven on the left side for the try. This game's all tied up again, folks. Parker takes the inbound from Mike DeYoung, and it gets jammed up in a crowd down low. He's looking for Josh O'Neal. Instead, he takes a timeout. Mike DeYoung comes to the corner to take the inbounds for Northridge. Magee-MedStar is on the other side of the court and a key defense. Colton feints toward the left, then cuts right. Looking for space in the corner, but Robbie has it well defended. But once again, Mike DeYoung is able to split into that C gap, take the pass for a try. Steven's got the inbound low for Magee-MedStar. Or sorry, Nate. Now Steven has the ball pushing up the center and then dumps it off to Robbie in the front court. Robbie catches it just in time to cross the line for a try. Parker takes the inbound, cutting down from the center from DeYoung. Now he's got space on the left sideline. He's pushing in, but he gets stuck on Nate and loses the ball. It bounces off Steven, and it's recovered by Mike DeYoung, who then loses it again. Now is recovered by Parker. There's a whole lot of fighting going on, and it's all right on that midcourt line. Has anyone even recovered the... O'Neal somehow winds up with the ball and rolls it in for a try. Steven takes the inbound from Robbie. Turns around to try and Robbie picks up a nice block on Mike DeYoung to cut him some space. Steven cuts back toward the center. He's getting jammed up by Josh O'Neal. Calls a timeout. Coming out of the timeout, Rishi makes his appearance on the floor today and heads straight for the sideline to take the inbounds for Magee-MedStar. Robbie will accept the inbound while Northridge Knights drop into key defense. Robbie's working the left side, gets a little cross from Rishi, comes in, fills a spot, squeezes through it, is able to receive the pass for a try from Robbie. Parker takes the inbounds on the right side, swings back to the center, but then cuts back hard right and is pushing hard along that left baseline. Airs out a pass for O'Neal, who's just able to bring it in time to score a try. Nate takes the inbound. Right around the center. He's driving toward the left, but then comes back center. Now he cuts hard toward the left baseline. Parker is following, but he's not fast enough to get position. Parker takes the inbound from DeYoung around the center. Holds up a little bit to allow Mike some time to get in the lead. Now he's going on against Rishi. Rishi hangs him up, so he dumps the ball off to O'Neal, streaking across the center. O'Neal gets hung up just on the front court, dumps the ball back off to Mike DeYoung, coming up the center. He's pushing toward the right, where Michelle has a nice little space block for him in the corner. At the end of the first half, we have a tight ball game, folks. Northridge Knights lead Magee-MedStar 21-20. Magee-MedStar will take the ball as we enter the second half here. Don't know who's going to inbound for them yet. They're all just kind of milling around. Rishi will take the inbounds on the sideline. Robbie takes the inbounds from Rishi to begin the second half as Northridge Knights drop into the key on defense. Nice. Rishi sneaks in to receive a pass from Robbie for the try. Dion takes the inbound from O'Neal. O'Neal comes back in to receive the handoff back from him, dumps it out to Colton Parker, who's all alone on the left sideline. Rishi works to get space around Parker to take that inbound from Robbie. Gets it, oh, almost loses it. He does lose it. It'll be Northridge Knights ball. DeYoung will inbound the ball for Northridge Knights out of the corner. It was a low pass, but Parker's able to recover it and bring it in. Waits for his team to get set up, dumps the ball off to O'Neal. Neal's jammed up on Rishi. Tries it back his way around Rishi, and he does. He will have that try. Nate takes the inbound from Robbie on the right side. Robbie cuts in, Nate cuts behind him. Nate's got room on that right sideline, and he's going to take advantage of it. Push his way up into the front court. O'Neal's going to attempt to deny that corner, so Nate cuts left, picks up a nice pick from Rishi to free up room on the left side of that key. Parker takes the inbound on the left side of the court, cuts back toward the center. He's pushing hard up the center. Robbie's trying to keep up with him, but he just doesn't have the juice. Nate takes the inbound from Robbie on the far right side, gets hung up in that corner on Parker. He's able to work work off of him as he works his way back around center, but gets jammed up on O'Neal. He throws a lob pass up, aiming for Rishi, but Rishi gets hooked up on Parker and isn't able to bring it in. It'll be Northridge ball at the other end of the court. Parker takes the inbound from DeYoung out of the corner. Bumps it back to DeYoung, who's looking for space. He's got a lead blocking accomplice on the left, but she gets jammed up on Dave. Oh, the ball is intercepted by Nate on MedStar Washington. He's going to roll this back in. Mike DeYoung challenges them, but he doesn't have... Oh, he does have enough to stop him right in front of the goal line. Nate fights his way free. Draws a reaching penalty. Oh, the reaching penalty was against Nate, so Mike DeYoung takes possession of the ball for Northridge on the baseline. You have Josh O'Neal is calling for equipment down low. It looks like he has a flat. O'Neal takes the inbound low from Mike DeYoung, cuts up hard up the center, but he's got Parker over the top. Nate takes the inbounds from Robbie for MedStar. Takes it high, cuts back toward the center. He's looking for room on the right. It's just Colton Parker to beat for him. Colton Parker cuts him off, so he cuts back toward the center. He's looking for room on the right, doesn't have it. Now he's weaving back and forth, trying to find a spot around Parker. He's eventually able to get caught by Parker right on the goal line and lose the ball. Parker strips the ball, now it's loose. Stevens chasing after it, so is Parker. Josh O'Neal comes in. I can't tell who got a hand on it. It's low. Steven recovers it, but he's right on the sideline in danger. Stevens got the timeout. Robbie comes to the sideline to inbound the ball to Steven for Magee-MedStar. There's only a 15-second clock on the board right now. Nate comes streaking in to take the pass from Robbie, but he bobbles it and loses it. Campos recovers and pushes it out to O'Neal, who's all alone on the other side of the court. Steven takes the inbound low for Magee-MedStar. He weaves his way back around behind Robbie. They both get hung up on Colton Parker, but they're able to free themselves and cut toward the center, then work their way to the right. He's looking for space on that right corner. He doesn't have it, so he turns around, following Robbie as his lead blocker. Now he's looking to beat him around the left corner, and he does for the try. Parker's pushing hard up the left side of the court. He's free for now. Will he be able to take it all the way in? He does. Steven takes the inbound on the left side, pushes back toward the right, and now he's cutting center, trying to use that block from Nate. He's hung up on Parker. He's looking for an outlet. Nate works his way around, takes the ball just before, but he gets stopped right at the midcourt line. That's a 12-second violation on Magee-MedStar. Northridge Knights will take the ball. Parker's pushing hard toward the left side, trying to take advantage before they can set up. He puts a pass up, and Nate blocks it. It's recovered by O'Neal, who pushes it in for the try. Steven comes to the baseline to take the inbound for Magee-MedStar. Nate comes down to the right, but he drops the ball off to Robbie on the left. He cuts back to the center. Robbie's following Steven up behind the block. Tries to cut inside, but he gets backed into by Colton Parker. Drops the ball off and lets Steven go get it. Steven takes the ball. It's got 2-on-1 O'Neal against Parker. But now Robbie's in to help with the block. So is Nate. Wheeling around to the right side. Steven cuts back left. There's all kinds of space. Can he beat Mike DeYoung to the line? He can. O'Neal takes the inbound from Mike Lowe, gets hung up on Nate. He's working his way back toward the center. He gets hung up low. He's looking for an outlet. He lobs the ball up for Colton Parker, who is not able to bring it in. Gets off his fingers, bounces off the picker of his chair, out of bounds. Steven will inbound from the sidelines right into Nate for Magee-MedStar. Nate's working his way up to the center of their court, cuts back toward the left sideline. He's got room to run. It's a 2-on-1. Robbie comes in to try and block out O'Neal. It can't quite get enough position on him, but there's still enough space for Nate to work his way around the right side for the try. Inbounds, gets passed off to O'Neal, who's pushing hard up the right side, cuts back toward the center. Now he's back on the right sideline. As he crosses into the front court, gets hung up on Robbie, dumps the ball off to Colton Parker, who gets run into by Nate. Nate swipes the ball away, but Parker's able to recover. Nate's still swiping the ball as Parker wheels around trying to find his escape. Parker pushes hard on the left, cuts back right. He's looking up center, squeezes in between Dave and Robbie for the try. Steven has the inbound as he cuts back center looking for his escape. He's got room. O'Neal stops him right on the midcourt line. That should have been an over and back. I don't know why that wasn't called. Maybe his rear casters didn't actually touch the floor. DeYoung inbounds to O'Neal low on the corner. O'Neal works his escape. He's pushing hard toward that left sideline. He's got lots of space and an outlet with Colton Parker. Dumps off an easy pass to Parker. We'll take it in for the try. Steven moves along the sideline to find Robbie as an inbounder. Robbie waits for Steven to cross up, be a blocker for him, then dumps the ball up to Nate. Nate's working toward the center. He's got room on the right side with Josh O'Neal closing in hard. Nate spins around. Josh O'Neal just kind of hangs out and lets him, then switches off. Now Mike DeYoung comes in to pick Nate. Nate's got Steven trying to help break him loose. He's got some room on the right and squeezes in along the right side. DeYoung inbounds to O'Neal on the far side of the court, who dumps it right back to Colton Parker in the middle of the key. Colton's working his way up court against Robbie and Steven. He's got a nice seal from O'Neal, which breaks him loose on the right side. Robbie catches back up and stops him to force a turnaround. But Parker sneaks around Robbie on the left side to score a try. Nate takes the inbound pass back from Steven. Works his way back toward the center. He's moving his way to the left sideline. Dumps the ball off to the right, but it was a little bit short. Parker picks Steven to prevent the reception, and the ball rolls harmlessly out of the bounds for a turnover. Northridge Knights ball. Mike DeYoung will inbound from the corner for Northridge Knights. O'Neal takes the inbounds, pushing hard along the baseline, and will roll it pretty much all by himself up to the front court. Nate's going to challenge him, though. He's not giving up easy. And Josh O'Neal finally takes the ball in for a try. Robbie inbounds to Nate in the center. Nate's working against Michelle Campos, then dumps the ball back off to Steven on the right side. Steven's looking for Robbie coming up the middle, and he's got him. DeYoung moves down the sideline to free up space to inbound to O'Neal. O'Neal drops a hook pass off to Colton Parker, who then dumps it right back to O'Neal, who's pushing hard up the right sideline. Burns his way past Robbie for the try. Steven from Magee will take the inbound and just sit on the ball to run out the clock on the quarter. At the end of the third quarter, Northridge Knights lead Magee-MedStar 32-28. Correction, 33-28. Northridge Knights will take possession coming out into the fourth quarter as Mike DeYoung rolls to the sidelines to inbounds for the Knights. He finds, oh, hold on, we got a stoppage. All right, our support staff is back in place, so we're resuming play. Parker has control of ball for Northridge, looking for room on the left side. There's nothing, so he cuts back to the right. Trying to get some teammates to pull in some key blocks, and he gets a great one from Michelle Campos. Allows him to squeak his way in on the right corner for a try. Rishi takes the ball in low for Magee-MedStar. He's trying to work his way back to the center, but he gets hung up on Mike DeYoung. He's looking for an outlet, finds Robbie. Looks like we have some kind of technical difficulties, so we were going to rerun that possession over again. It may be for the better for Magee-MedStar. As Rishi comes to the baseline to take the inbounds. Rishi puts the ball over the top to Robbie. Robbie cuts off to the right side. Doesn't like what he sees, so he cuts back middle, tosses the ball back over the center to Rishi, who takes it on the near left side, but he's stripped by O'Neal. O'Neal makes a play on the ball, swipes it back in, right to Rishi, who's able to recover the ball and dump it off to Nate. Nate's trying to work his way around Mike DeYoung in the sideline. He's got a nice block from Robbie in front of him, but he cuts inside. Not sure why he did that. And he dumps the ball back out to Rishi, who puts it over the top to Robbie, backs it in for the try. O'Neal puts the inbounds in deep to Colton Parker, who cuts back low in center. He's working his way fast up the center. Rishi and Robbie are there playing defense on him, forcing him to turn back just in front of the key. Oh, he goes to bounce, but he loses it as Nate comes in and jars him. Bounces right off the front of his picker out of bounds. It will be a Magee-MedStar ball. Robbie inbounds for Magee-MedStar from the corner. He's looking for Nate, and he's got him. Nate works his way back to center. He's cutting left, cutting back right, trying to work around Josh O'Neal in that center. He does eventually get around him, but Josh O'Neal isn't giving up. You got to stay on your wheels, Nate. Parker takes the inbound high into the left. He's pushing hard along that left baseline, sideline. Has a clear run right to the try line. Rishi will take the inbounds from Magee-MedStar. He's looking for Nate, and he has him right in the center. Nate gets hung up. He waiting for Rishi to come back around and be his lead blocker. Nate works his way to the left sideline. He's looking for an outlet, doesn't have it, so he just holds onto it and keeps pushing. Now he's got an outlet over the top to Rishi, coming up the center for the try. Ooh, Mike goes a little bit wild on that inbound to Josh O'Neal. Goes off O'Neal's fingertips and out of bounds. Magee-MedStar take over on possession as Robbie inbounds from the sidelines, looking for Rishi over the top. Or Nate, he's looking for anybody. Puts the ball over the top. He's aiming for Rishi, but it goes well over his head and will bounce out of bounds on the opposite sideline. O'Neal takes the pass from Colton Parker and hauls Bud up the center of the court. Nate's sticking with him, but he doesn't have the speed to get on top. Looks like Josh O'Neal has another equipment issue. He's getting a fresh set of wheels, or at least a fresh wheel, before we resume play. Nate blocks Parker out to make room to come down for the inbound low. Now he's got to work back around Parker up the center. Rishi comes in to assist with the block. Nate's got to get on his wheels and push. He's got his way around left side of Josh O'Neal, works his way free up the front court for the try. Mike DeYoung inbounds to O'Neal, who's stuck in traffic. He's got 3 defenders around him, but he finds Colton Parker and dumps the ball off to him. Rishi's not going to catch up to him. Looks like he's calling for an equipment. That may have been his tire we just heard. Steven will take the ball to inbound for Magee-MedStar. He sees Nate dropping around the right side, dumps the ball off to him. Nate swings low around that little hang up on Michelle, and Dave works his way back up. But he's got O'Neal in defense as he crosses into the front court. Dumps the ball off to Robbie. Robbie's looking around, trying to find an outlet option. He dumps the ball off, but it's swatted away by O'Neal. Nobody was able to recover. It'll still remain Magee-MedStar ball. Robbie inbound over the top to Steven. Steven tries to dump it off to Nate, but it's tipped by Mike DeYoung into Josh O'Neal's hands. O'Neal pushes up, but he's stopped by Steven. Dumps the ball off. He was looking for Colton Parker. Instead, he finds Nate on Magee-MedStar. Nate's trying to work his way back out of the backcourt from just this side of the midcourt line. He's got himself on the left side. Dumps the ball off to Robbie, who will take the ball in on the right side. Colton Parker takes the ball, streaking across on the right side, and it just races his way up court. Steven inbounds high for Robbie, but O'Neal's able to get in there, get a hand off of it. Deflects it and bounces it off of the front of Robbie's chair, so it will be Northridge ball. Mike DeYoung will inbound from the corner for Northridge. Colton will take the inbounds from Mike DeYoung and wheel it around to the top. Parker's in no rush, but it looks like Steven needs. He gets a little bit aggressive and pays for it as O'Neal comes to block him out. Parker works his way toward the left side, but it's swatted away by Nate. Bounced out into the scrum, and now O'Neal's trying to bring it in. O'Neal does bring it in, but he's in the corner. Lobs the ball up. He was looking for Parker, but it's deflected by Nate. Parker rolls out of bounds in the meantime. So that will be a turnover. It's Magee-MedStar ball. Robbie will inbound from the corner from Magee-MedStar, right to Steven. Works his way back low, trying to get out of the crowd. Dumps it off to Nate in the center. Nate's jammed up on Mike DeYoung, who's swatting at the ball. Nate's got all kinds of room up in the center until Parker comes to cut him off, so he cuts back to the left. Mike DeYoung's right back on Nate, but he was able to find himself an outlet in Steven, who comes across to score the try. Colton Parker's working his way back low on the center. He gets hung up low, so he's looking for an outlet. He's got O'Neal high. It's swatted by Robbie. O'Neal gets a finger on it too, but the ball is still loose as O'Neal chases it down. Nate chases O'Neal down and locks him up. Now Steven's back. The whole team's down there. Colton Parker finds some room on the right side, challenges Robbie at the baseline and at the goal line and wins. Rishi takes the inbounds up high as Northridge drops in to defend the key. Robbie has the ball on the far left side. He's got a wide open B gap, and he just waltzes right in for that try. O'Neal takes the inbounds from DeYoung, lobs the ball up for Colton Parker to go chase it, but Colton Parker lets it bounce off his left wheel. He's got to chase it back down again. He's able to wheel it up, but in the meantime, Robbie catches up with him and gets him stopped on the left side. Parker works his way back to the center, cuts back in front of Rishi, has some space to roll it all the way in for the try. Rishi inbounds over the top to Robbie, takes it up high around the top of the three-point line. Somebody's got a flat, but it's not Robbie. Correction, it is Robbie with the flat. He calls his equipment. Nate will take the inbounds from Robbie on the sideline as Northridge Knights drops in to defend the key again. Robbie will run the offense on this show. He's weaving around to the left, looking for space in that B gap, but it's closed up by Parker. So he lobs the ball off to Nate, who catches it in the C gap. He's jammed up between Campos. Oh, that's an out and in, so that will be no goal. Mike DeYoung calls a bench timeout for Northridge. It'll be a 60-second timeout, and we have 1 minute and 28 seconds left in this game. Mike DeYoung comes to the corner to take the inbounds for Northridge Knights. He's got O'Neal joining him down low, but he lobs it over. He was looking for Colton Parker, but Rishi comes in with a block. Oh, Robbie was able to sweep in and recover that just on the tips of his fingers for a try. Great hustle on that one, Robbie. O'Neal has the ball. He's pushing hard on the left. He's got Nate to beat, and he beats Nate. Inbounds with just out of Nate's fingers, but Robbie helps bounce right back into him. Parker has Nate hung up just on the front court side of the midcourt line. Dumps the ball off to Robbie, who's hung up on O'Neal. Here comes Rishi up the left side. Robbie dumps the ball into him, and Rishi will take it all the way in for a try. O'Neal works down low on the double team as Mike rolls down the sideline to get a better Angle on that inbounds. O'Neal takes it, bumps the ball back up to Knight, who works his way up the center. Mike dumps it off to O'Neal, who's looking deep for Colton on just this side of the front court. Colton Parker brings the ball in. Got to keep hold of that ball as Nate's swiping at it. Now Rishi comes in to slam him, jar him around a little bit. He's looking for an outlet. Here comes O'Neal. Dumps it off for O'Neal. Rolls around to the right side with Robbie on him. So he lobs the pass right over to Mike DeYoung. Mike DeYoung brings it in and scores the try. Robbie puts a bump pass in deep. He's looking for Nate Washington, but it's a little too low and fast for Nate to track down. Since there was no touch on that ball after it left the inbounder's hands, it will come all the way back to this near corner here. Well, Mike DeYoung will inbound it for the Knights. He's got O'Neal down low, but he chooses Michelle Campos. Dumps the ball into her. She dumps it off to Colton Parker, who is in no particular rush to bring it in because the game is over. The final score in this game, Northridge Knights 42, Magee-MedStar 37. Thank you for joining us for Game 12 of the USWRA Low Point Wheelchair Rugby National Championships hosted by Rise Adaptive Sports. I'll be taking a couple games off here, but mark your calendars because I will be back at 5:30 p.m. as Magee-MedStar returns to take on Grand Rapids Thunder. Thank you again for joining us and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.